Hey everyone, so in this video, it's just going to be the full war match against the faction, the Infected. Now, there was a small part that I did cut out, and I think it was just because I ended up hitting my alarm button, and it just jumped out of a screen, so you will notice a lapse of time that occurs later on. So throughout this video, you're kind of just going to see how I approach different teams. You'll notice me make some mistakes, you'll notice me make some smart plays, you'll notice just the whole lot of it. And I think that's what war videos should encompass: the good, the bad, and the ugly, because not everything works out perfectly, and for me to depict myself winning every single attack is just impossible. It's not feasible. It's wrong. And I just want to be as authentic as I can be with how I go about attacking different teams and tunes and how I utilize my team, and just to show that I'm only human, that I still make mistakes in matches, often sometimes, and how it can be frustrating, but you know, you gotta jump back on that saddle and keep on trying. You need to know and be real with yourself that you can't expect yourself to win every single attack. You're going to lose some attacks. You're going to make mistakes. And sometimes you're just going to have terrible, terrible RNG. You could be hitting amazingly, and then all of a sudden you couldn't hit like the side of a wall, the side of a barn, where you're just struggling. Like it just happens, and there's not much you can do about it. Just sometimes the odds are not in your favor. So the best you can do is move on. And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, where they become so focused and transfixed on this one or two teams that they struggle against, that they can't beat. And don't get me wrong, you should focus on those teams that you can't beat, but you should always look ahead as well at the teams that you can and realize that you are doing a good job. It's important to realize that you are putting in a good effort, that you are trying, that you are adapting. Effort matters. It matters to me, at least, because some people will just say, oh, I see a Jackie lead, I'm going to skip over it. I'm not even going to attempt it. But I swear there's a song that goes, if you never try, you'll never know. And I think it's a Coldplay song. And this is the second time today that I've referenced a Coldplay song. But you try, and you try, and you try different things, and you fail, but you learn from it. And that is the key. And I honestly believe that that's where my success comes from. I believe that I am a successful player because I learn, because I adapt, because I try new things, and I try unorthodox things at times. I'm sure I've probably had a video or two that has come out that you guys have kind of pondered, why would I ever try that? How is this useful? But I'm hoping that in at least one of them, you guys have been able to see why I tried something and how it's either worked or didn't work. And I can assure you, for every single video where you've seen something work, there have been probably 100 times where it hasn't worked, and vice versa. It's all about timing. It's about when it comes into play, because sometimes you can have the best ideas and theories, but you're testing them against the wrong teams. A lot of my videos are kind of like proof of concept, to showcase that this is relevant, this is why, and how you can actually utilize it. Now, is it always practical? No. But I try to say that in my videos. I'll try to say if this is not a war team, or I'll say this is free to play, or that it's not going to work all the time, but it is an idea. And the point of my videos is to help teach you guys how to learn, how to teach you what to look for, what the key words are, what key tunes are, why they're key tunes. The why is always the important part. Why am I using this character instead of a different character? What do they bring to the table that no one else does? Or it might be the same character, but just modded differently. Like, one thing that you'll notice with some of my teams, they might have the exact same build with just one tune that is different. So for example, the team I'm using right now has Alice. I have the exact same team, but I have 5-star Kate on it instead. And it's kind of all about what's on the defensive team. Sometimes I need a reviver. Sometimes I need a tune that gives a little bit extra bonus attack, that being Alice. But sometimes there's just a lot of infection going on the defensive team, and Kate and her 30% healing for multiple turns is perfect to counter it, because she can counter Trader's infection, either his active skill or his weapon, as well as Mateo's. It's just kind of like the perfect counter to it, and she's easy to rush on the second turn. Now, to get her to rush on the second turn, or Alice to rush, or anyone to rush, you have to understand how unnatural AP gain works with Dr. Stevens, so that you know how to manipulate the situation to ensure that the toons you want to gain the AP actually do gain that AP. Learning about what order you need to rush characters in is also important. Who needs a buff? When is a buff a bad idea? And you might not actually believe this, but sometimes rushing Alice before rushing someone like Priya or Princess is a bad idea, specifically with Priya, because toons gain AP when they take damage. Rampage on Priya gives away AP like crazy, so by doing an attack boost but not being able to finish means that you're giving away a lot of AP to the enemy toons. If you don't have the attack up bonus, you might be okay where you aren't triggering everyone. You have a chance of potentially killing everyone on the defensive team, but you also have a chance of triggering everyone. Sometimes you're just rushing Priya to control the enemy team. When you rush her, you confuse and impair a line, which is a great amount of control that really lets you exhibit your knowledge of a game against the enemy. By now, most of you guys know that on my Priya, I run an attack up when impaired mod, so I intentionally rush toons that have an impair when being attacked weapon when I use Priya's rush. That way I can get an attack up bonus when I rush her, and her rampage, double attack, and potential secondary attacks also create damage. It can be a great combination to use and utilize, and that's one of the reasons why I don't run any impair weapons on my defensive team anymore. I just find that it creates a very easy situation to manipulate and for people to become familiar with how characters function and what weapons that they have. Like, I make predictions of what toons' weapons will be in play, and based on those predictions, that's how I mod my characters. For example, when I'm going to pick up Krista from the gold bricks, I'm probably going to give her either attack up when slowed and attack up when impaired, and pair her with a splash weapon, because that way whenever she has a splash attack, if she's slowed because she hits a yellow toon that has impenetrable defense, or if there's a toon like Louis who slows me down, a war tower that slows me down, or any number of ways of being slowed, or if there's impair weapons on defense, I can intentionally impair myself and try to hit the opponent with my splash weapon. The splash weapon can be devastating, especially with Waste Not in play. Learning about these simple methods of manipulating the defense's most powerful offensive moves or their most frustrating moves can be a huge advantage to you. An example is, on my live stream this weekend, I had a question on Discord that I decided to answer where someone said, "Why is someone attacking with only 3 characters?" And my answer was, it could be because they're running a taunt smash team. And a taunt smash team basically has focus, attack up when taunted, and a toon that does area damage. So I showcased this actually on my stream. I had to get the conditions right because, you can't have an Outlast character. You can't have someone like Kapoor with dexterity. There's just a few things that you can't have on the defensive team. Payback is another one. So basically, I just followed the conventional method of using attack up when taunted. I would use my active skill on Ivanova to focus my team and give an attack up. And then I would wait to be taunted by, say, Princess, who we know taunts on the second turn, which sets up for a turn 3 taunt smash, meaning I get a huge attack boost from being taunted, but because my alpha is focused, and I mean my 6-star green alpha that has the chainsaw on it, she gets a huge attacking bonus, and she's actually able to wipe out full S-class teams in one swift swoop. So one of the reasons why you only use 3 characters is that you're ensuring that Alpha gets the taunt. In some cases, if you run more characters, well, you only have a 60% chance of a toon of your desire getting taunted, because a toon like Princess taunts 3. With you having 5 characters, that's a 60% chance. And if there's a way to make it a 100% chance, you may as well do that. Keep in mind, a team like that is a very niche team, meaning it's not going to work all the time, but the few times it does work, you'll be amazed at its success. And it's little things like that that I find are so important. Once you start to understand the little intricate parts of the game, your full understanding of the game and your gameplay will become so far advanced and so much enhanced. I personally enjoy it so much more because I know as much as I do, and I still know that there's so much that I can learn. What I love about this game is that there's always ways to improve and to grow. There's always something to learn. There's always something to improve upon, and there's so much strategy. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and listening to my video.